Welcome back, friends. In the previous videos, we have talked about the Streptococcus introduction, and obviously we have talked about the diseases that are caused by Streptococcus. Now, in this video, we'll be seeing the different mode of pathogenesis. So, we'll be seeing pathogenesis, right? So, pathogenesis of Streptococcus. Now, when we're talking about pathogenesis of our Streptococcus, we must talk about virulence of this Streptococcus. We must look at some important factors in all these different bacteria. The pathogenesis is not a single particular part. It is a combinatory effect of different strategies. Now, majorly there are two different strategies behind the pathogenesis, and those strategies are: one strategy is to escape immune system, escape host immunity or immune system. This is one type of activity. Another type of activity played by the same individual or organism is the killing or the destruction. So let me write it as a destruction of cells. So destruction of host cell, destruction of host cells. So these are the two different strategies that are taken, and in this case also these are the two different strategies taken by Streptococcus species. Okay, now the first kind, which is the escaping of host system, is brought about using, this is brought about using, so let me write, take this color. It is brought about using uh, using toxins as well as enzymes, and the destruction of the host cell is also brought about by certain enzymes, and also it is brought about, the spread is brought about using some more enzymes also. Okay, so it's simply enzymes, so let me write it like that. Okay, now in this case the toxin that is used in this case is cytotoxin or pyrogenic toxin. So let me write it. It is called the pyrogenic cytotoxin. Now this pyrogenic cytotoxin is also called as, it is acting as actually super antigen, right? And it is going to activate more and more. So if I scroll it a little bit down, it is going to activate more and more T cells, as well as it will produce more and more cytokines, right? So as a result it will eventually trigger the immune response up in a very little bit. So as a result of that it will play with our immune system, and it will block the activity of certain immune system, and production of the cytokines and other chemical mediators will harm the tissue in certain regions. Okay, and the second important thing is the production of enzymes, and the enzymes in this case I'm talking about are streptolysin enzymes. So let me write streptolysin enzymes. This is called streptolysin O and also streptolysin S. These are the enzymes that are available. Now the streptolysin enzymes will actually degrade cells. It can kill immune cells as well as it can kill normal cells, right? So its lysine means it is going to lyse the cell. Now, on the other hand, the destructive feature of the host cell is again brought about by the streptolysin. So, as I've told you before, that the streptolysin can degrade cells. So, this is one way of doing it. Now, other mode of the infection is brought about using the propagation, right? Propagation of bacteria. This is also important during the virulence, right? So if a bacteria, if it need to set the virulence factors, if it need to set the pathogenesis, in those cases it must propagate from one place to another place, and for this propagation they can adopt three different type of strategies. Actually major two different type of strategies. One type of strategy is the production of an enzyme called streptokinase. So let me write it. The enzyme is called streptokinase. Now the streptokinase enzyme can actually uh, degrade, and it can convert the plasminogen into plasmin as a result of the production of plasmin. So let me write it here. So we are having plasminogen, which is the inactive form of the enzyme plasmin. Plasminogen, it will activate plasminogen into plasmin. Now as it activates plasmin, so it will act on it and will produce plasmin. Now as it activates plasmin, this plasmin can it can break down or degrade some fibrin or other protein network like this. So protein network like fibrin, for example. So fibrin network is there. So this plasmin can eventually degrade this fibrinogen actually, so fibrin clot into smaller fragments. So let us talk about it in a little bit detail like that. So let's say here we are having the fibrin clot. So here we are having fibrin clots coming out like that. Due to the activity of this plasmin, it can degrade it into smaller fragments like that. So fibrin clot is gone now due to the activity of this plasmin. So that's the effect of plasmin, and that is indirectly brought about by the streptokinase enzyme. Right. So that's the one way of the propagation. Now we know that if this is the fibrin. So if we are talking about fibrin, fibrin is a protein network that is helping the cells to maintain the mammalian cells to maintain their structure. Now, if it degrades this fibrin clot or fibrin molecules or fibrin network, it will disintegrate the mammalian cells, as well as it can spread intracellularly or extracellularly from one place to another place. So that's the one strategy for the propagation. Now, another strategy for the propagation is also the degradation of hyaluronic acid. So this is the second way of the propagation. It is the degradation of hyaluronic acid, right? Now this hyaluronic acid degradation is brought about using the enzyme called hyaluronidase. So hyaluronidase is the enzyme which will degrade hyaluronic acid. So let me draw for you. So if this is the condition, if this is the cell lining, and hyaluronic acid is coming out from this particular side. Let's say this is the site. These are the hyaluronic acid places that are coming out. So hyaluronic acid, as you can see, it is helping them to construct the basal side, right? So it helps them to organize the cells, right? To build the ground substance of the cell so that the cells will make the sheet like structure, right? So actually the hyaluronic acid, so if this is the base of the cell. So let me draw. This is the base of the cell. Let's draw. This is the base of the cell. Hyaluronic acid actually holds this base so that the cells are layered perfectly onto the cell. Now in this case, if something cleaves this hyaluronic acid from this region, let me tell you, if something cleaves it from there, as a result the cells will disintegrate, and all the structures that we have talked about we can see in this case, or in case of mammals, right? So streptococcal infection in mammals will destroy this kind of hyaluronic acid barriers. As a result of that, what it will generate, it will break it down smaller fragments right now, smaller fragments, and as a result of this fragmentized condition of hyaluronic acid is they can easily spread from one place to another place, right? So these are the strategies that are taken, and there are also two different important strategies. One, to go against this also to go against this immune response, and that is to inactivate the complement system. So they can inactivate the complement system. I forgot to mention this particular part. Let me mention it now. They can inactivate complement complement system. How? Using or inactivating C5a, right? What is C5a? C5a is an anaphylotoxin. We know that. Now blocking the C5a in this particular case, it will block the signaling of yeah, as it is acting as a signaling molecule during the complement system. Blocking it will result in the blocking the signal of complement in the classical as well as in the alternative pathway. So as a result, less complement activation and less bacterial destruction will occur. And obviously they are having another tendency of production of streptodornases. Now this streptodornase, what is this streptodornase? So it's a kind of new name, streptodornase. Let me write streptodornase. Now the streptodornases are certain kind of enzyme, as it suggests ases, that means it's a kind of enzyme. This is simply a kind of DNase, simple kind of DNase. Now this DNase that can degrade the viscous DNA in necrotizing tissue. So it can actually degrade the DNA in necrotizing tissue, and simply it will kill those cells during the necrosis. Remember, we have seen that different kind of infection with the help of this streptococcus will result in the necrosis and tissue damage. In those cases, it will damage or degrade those cells using the streptodornase enzyme, which is a kind of DNase which will destroy those cells by cleaving their DNA apart. So this is another very important mode of activity or mode of pathogenicity shown by streptococcus, and also a unique one. Okay, so these are the major types of pathogenicity of streptococcus, and I hope that's helpful. Thank you.